Hello and welcome to my Fernando's awesome Sketchup 8 tutorial. Now in this tutorial we will be making something like this. Now with this I actually see a bunch of what do you call this a bunch of boards that is actually going to be made for a kitchen uh, cabinet. You see here, it's a lot of boards here. And what I've done is this is actually I'm just halfway through the entire process. Now I'm gonna teach you how to first uh make how to call this a cabinet, a proper cabinet, so that you could create cutting lists out of the cabinet, and it will be a lot easier for you to manage your cabinets. At the same time, you wouldn't have problems, which will be discussing later. Now, first, we'll start by choosing a template. Now, with this, I'm going to use for product design and woodworking, and start using SketchUp. All right. Um, let's wait for it to load. Now, the first two things you need to understand, you need for this is first, you need SketchUp. Second, you need what you need is Cutlist 4.1. Okay, Cutlist 4.1 will be linked in the description below, so where you can download it and how to install the plugin for the SketchUp. Now we have now an empty plane. Alright, we have an empty space for our cabinet. Now what we're gonna do is start with the rectangle tool. Yeah, but we're gonna make something like a 600 by 600 by 600 by 600 type of a cabinet with the height of, like, let's say 750, and yeah, 750 height base cabinet. And the materials we're gonna use is white particular board and what to call this beech, some sort of beech. Yes, we'll start by using the rectangle tool and type in 600 by 600. Yes, 600 by 600. Next is you use the push tool by pressing P, then pull it up, and then just type in 18. It's the part 18. Move it. Now, understand, in my document, I actually discussed about X, Y, and Z axis, or the blue, green, and X red axis. Now, what it does is, if you do not follow these axes, you will have a black line along, and it's going to be a random area where you're going to put the your object or your entities. If you follow the green axis, the line actually turns to green. Same goes if it would to the red axis, it will turn red, and if you go up a bit, it will turn blue on blue axis. It will indicate which line you're gonna follow. So here we're just gonna go follow the green axis and just put it there somewhere. Next is we're gonna copy this board because it's the same. This one's the bottom board, and we're gonna try copying it by pressing the move tool again. Press Control, and you'll see a plus sign. Let's rotate a bit by pressing the middle of your mouse, and then click and drag upwards and let it indicate on the blue axis. In here, yeah, identical copy of your board, and the same time it's in like parallel to each other, so it's a lot easier for you to know which one is which. Next is you make the left and right panels. For this, gonna use this corner bottom as an endpoint, then drag it. Then from here on, I'm gonna use this. Let's say use this bottom corner as an endpoint as well, and it will indicate that I'm following that. Press 18 by 600, and you will have this. This is just the easiest way for you to make cabinet boards for me, and then we'll indicate if it's like 750. Let's subtract here. Let's do a little math. Like 18 times plus 18 is equals to 30. 36 minus 750. You'll have somewhere 750, 114, 714. Yep, 714. So here we go. Right, that's the left panel, 714, and the height is 714. The thickness is 18 mil, and the width, or I mean the depth, is 600. Next, what we're gonna do is copy this. I didn't discuss how I copied a while ago, so in order to copy this entire thing well, or move it, press it 1, 2. Okay, let's do this a bit quicker. 1, 2, and 3. 3 times. Then do the same thing a while ago. Press Control. Follow the axis. Since you're going right, go follow the red axis, and you have it. A complete copy of the other panel. Next, we're gonna do is we're gonna make the back panel a lot easier if I do it to the back, since I had issues doing this in front. So from here, just gonna copy this endpoint. Make sure I'm following the green axis. You can't see it. It's kind of, I hate this background. I'm gonna have to change that. But for now, bear with me. Then from here, just drag it all along there with your rectangle tool. Make sure you copy this endpoint. Then see here, 600. What you need to do is type in 600 by, let's make this the thickness 6. Then copy it and then move it up. You don't have to do that, you just have to type it like 700 by 750. There you go. Now I'm not gonna go into details on what, if I'm right or wrong about the actual dimension of the cabinet, because you can actually adjust it by yourself, or yeah, since I'm not planning to do a very detailed way of making this example cabinet, we're just gonna teach you how to make a proper cabinet via Sketchup. Okay, now let's do this again. This time with the rectangle tool again, and then use this as an endpoint. Copy this from the point. Then, since we're doing the front panel, you have to follow this rule. Then, since we're gonna use the doors, we're just gonna make one door, one big freaking door. Like, okay, since we're gonna make a door, let's make the width is 598, like a mil and a mil on each side. There's a gap, and then the thickness would be 19 because it's the front door something. So here I go, and then push up, and then here 750. So let's subtract at least 4 mil so that we have a gap of 2 mil on top and the bottom, or maybe let's just subtract 2, so 1 mil each, so that we are a bit uniform. Let's make it 548. Now you have your front panel, front door, the left and right panels, your bottom, your top, and your back. That's a lot easy, right? Next, what's the main issue? Why am I even discussing this? I mean, you can just simply put them together. Well, if you do that, this happens. Copy that, move it there, put it a bit close like this, or let me like this. See that? And if you move it again, if you click that again, actually clicking the entire thing, and if you try just clicking on like moving it, it moves the entire thing. Or if you just try, let's say, oh, you just move this, no, it happens this way. It's a lot harder for you to move it. So what you do is keep pressing Control Z to undo the entire thing. And what we can do is turn these things into individual components. You do that by clicking them 3 times, not so slowly, and make them as a component. But we'll do that later. We just first thing we need to do is to make our materials. For this panels here, this back, top, bottom, left and right panels, I want it to be white, so I want to make a new material. Creating a new material and name it PTR, like capital PTR, and color white. Next, we have that, and click that, and just highlight the entire thing, and then press this. Paint. It actually paints the entire thing. Make sure that you highlight the entire thing before you do that. I'm gonna do it again to make sure that everything is color PTR. This material now, the material now for all of these highlighted is now PTR. Next, or particle board. It's now a white particle board. The next one, I want the door to be colored, let's say beach. Now I have a material in my folder. You can actually use different materials. You can download materials from the internet, copy them, or something like that if it's legal. Now for this, just gonna click it 3 times, like 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna create another material. Use my image texture. It automatically lets you choose a file. I want to do this kitchen materials and then beach. Hit that open. And then I want it a bit, the dimensions of the beach to be a bit higher, bigger. So I want it like 250. And I change the material name because its default is material 1. I'm gonna change it to beach. And click OK. Okay, now what we do is just click this and select top, and then you have your beach panel door panel. Now next we do is create the components. Now what we do, just click 3 times, like 1, 2, 3, component, make a component, make the component, and then I want this to be like simple bottom. Or what I do usually when I do work is like base cabinet. This is the first cabinet, letter A, and then I want bottom board. Bottom board. That's right. Second one is what this 1, 2, and 3. The same thing. We just have to do it like quickly. B, C, A, dash top board. Next is what I'm gonna do is same thing with the other things. Like 1, 2, 3. Make sure everything's gonna be highlighted well. B, C, A, backboard. Back panel. Then 1, 2, and 3. Make component BCA left panel, BCA right panel, left right panel. Yes. 1, 2, and 3. This one's the door, so BCA. I'm gonna try to assume that's the left door, left side door, and then let's create this. Now why turning them in components, by the way? What it does is actually lets you move your components to each other. Oh, sorry. Make sure when you're moving a highlight 3 times, then click them 3 times, then move it. Okay, when you move your components to each other components, it won't let you have the same bug that happened a while ago. You can actually click them while they're in while they're intersecting. So the next time you make a project and you want this entity to just be like that, just create it as a component, and other entities wouldn't be bothered by it. So now, since we have this entire thing, before we assemble it, I have already downloaded Cutlist 4.1. It allows me to make cutting lists from these types of components. Okay, so from the plugins, I'm gonna choose cut list, and it will display this Cutlist 4.1 version 5. So right now I have to make sure the Cutlist for output is web page. Yes, that's good. You can actually have an option if you put the Cutlist on as a CSV file for Excel, which is, well, yeah, it's a lot easier to see and editable for certain companies to have this. Next, just use a compact components sheet goods. You're not going to use parts, so I'm not going to select this. And then what I'm going to force the board sheets and make sure that just put PTR. And the layouts, I'm not going to spread parts, I'm going to use parts. I'm going to lay out by the material, display unplaced part just in case, and then I don't know, I don't have any idea about this, so I'm just going to leave it blank for a while. Then go to sheets, and then make sure that this and this is based on what the manufacturers would make sure that you select the proper one. Select run, say save settings, and save OK. Now from here we can now run our, oh, I forgot the most important thing, silly me, you have to save it. Now I want to save a sample SKB, replace that one, my old one. Now next is I'm gonna run it again. Run. We have the same settings since we saved it. Run. Nothing was selected. Yes, I want that. I want to select all visible set things, and then here we go. It will create these things. Now from the description you'll have 1, 2, something like that, 19 mil beach. So this one is the actual 19 millimeter beach sheet, and this one is the 18 mil white particle board that you're going to use for this, and this one is a 6 millimeter thick white particle board. Now from that it will also create this simple list, but the subassembly is going to be based on the title of your format. For that, we'll change that later. And next, what I'm going to do is now assemble the entire thing. Now to do that, I'm going to have to move this up. Move up on the blue axis, please. On the blue axis. Now here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Then move button. Then an end panel. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, and 3. Move end panel. I'm gonna use my middle and hold shift to move it a bit like this. Then it's a lot easier to do this, and end axis like that. And 1, 2, and 3. Same thing here. You know the idea. Use this end panel to just measure the exact right, put them to the right places. And here, do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, and 3. Move it like so. And the back panel, do the same thing. 1, 2, and 3. The reason why I put it in the back, so it wouldn't be hard to move on the upper right, so we put it in the upper right. And here we go. It's a very sharp display. Right, now what I'm gonna do now is Since this measurement is not as exact, we have a 1 mil gap for each side because this one is, it goes this. Um, with the measuring tool, we can measure, we can double check it's right. 598 is the width and the height is 748. So what we're gonna do is with the tape measure tool, we're gonna make a just a mark. You type in 1, and enter, and you have this invisible line that can't be seen if you render this thing. Just do the same thing on this side. Just 1, press 1, and then you have here the intersect. Remember, this intersect thing is very important if you're gonna put this panel. Since we're gonna put this one is here in the intersect, so we're gonna move this, move, and then we'll zoom in using the mouse, put it on the intersect, and here we go. Perfect. Now we have a very good looking cabinet. Of course, it's not rendered yet, yes, but it's a very good looking sharp cabinet with no shelves. That's right, no shelves. Next is, let's check if it's gonna bother the cut list software. Let's run it again. Yes, select all visible items, visible components, and here we go. That didn't bother at all. Now what we can do next is we can actually remember what I said ago. It at the cut list, the subassembly is based on what the title of your SketchUp project is. Now, what I don't want that. Since you're comfortable with this as a component, I want this to be some new component. Like this is a base cabinet with the height of 600, with the width of 600 mm by 750 mm by 600 depth mm. So right, create that, and you can make a logo that this entire component right now is a base cabinet that is like that. And what I can do is cut list plus layout, right, run it, and then you can skip this because everything is all right. As you can see, everything is based on the component of the whatever is inside, and that's a subassembly of this certain board. You can do the same thing with other boards if you have multiple subassembly components. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot.